we're going to go over to Kansas City, where it's probably cold, and Brad is outside sipping on his coffee, wearing shorts and a Hawaiian shirt.
Well, just in case all of you are curious, I mean, last week's game, it was above freezing, so there's no reason to wear shorts. Come on. But this week, we're back in the 20 degrees, so
Hold on. I've just got to point out that so last week it was there's no point in wearing pants, and I'll just point out that Brad Korn seems like he's a little nasally, maybe even got a cold from it. I'm just saying, maybe the pants would have been a good idea.
Tony, I want to thank you for providing a visual I cannot possibly unsee.
Well, I did say he was wearing shorts. It could have been worse.
Yeah, well, he was almost right on the shorts. It was pretty damn close, let me tell you. So, yeah, this is still from Screaming. It was a loud stadium because Lawrence, the quarterback, had made a comment about, Arrowhead can't be that loud. We're the loudest stadium in the United States. I mean, we've been recorded that way. So, anyway, we had to show him how loud it was, and it did. It helped. He has never lost a game on a Saturday till he came to Arrowhead. He'll remember that day.
Nice.
I want to grab, it's when you guys, the topic traction made me think of the book. I've got it sitting on my table. I haven't actually read that one yet. I've been reading the EOS now. But Sid was talking about repetition. By the way, Sid, everything everybody said was awesome. So I guess I can't totally pick on you, but I grabbed on to that repetition thing. And this is what I want to share. Look at how many amazing books are on your bookshelf or in your life that have crossed your path. And I remember when Gary Keller wrote Millionaire Real Estate Agent, all he talked about for years, read it 12 times, read it 12 times, read it 12 times. It's literally how to build $1 million business. Now, this book happens to talk about real estate, but anybody could pick that book up, and 70% of that book is going to speak to you if you put shoe repair person or whatever you want in there. It's going to speak to you. And he always said, read it 12 times, read it 12 times. So, he seems like a pretty smart guy. So I read the book 12 times. In fact, there are 3 books that I've read in my career, more than half a dozen times. I've read Millionaire Real Estate Agent and E-Myth at least a dozen times. I probably read E-Myth or parts of E-Myth hundreds of times. I'll share that in a minute. But in The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, Michelle talks about. Michelle and I run in the same track of books. I love her for that. So I get to hear all these books that I've read. And believe me, I barely read a book cover to cover in the first place. I'll read bits and pieces of books all the time. But these 3 books I've read half a dozen or more times. And here's what I realized when I went through that process, that when you read a book the first time, the second time, it's an awesome book and there's good stuff in there. You might even start taking notes the third time you read the book. But it's the 4th through the 6th time that I have witnessed through coaching clients that actually do it, that things start speaking to you. You start seeing where this is fitting in where you are right now in your timeline. And you go past 6 times and it just starts showing up in your life. And that's what happened to me in real estate. I just kept reading the book 12 times and it started showing up. So I'll give you a little bonus teach method here on book reading. Grab a book and read it through, get to 4 through 6, but MREA, Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller. If you'll read pages 133 through 148 12 times, lead generation, I think that chapter will speak to every single person on this stage. And what I say is put a sticky note on page 133, put a sticky note on 148, read through. When you get to the back, put a tally. Go right back to the beginning and read it again, put a tally. So I'll do the same thing with Audible. I will dump a CD in, back when they had CDs, right? And I would just leave that in for a month or 2. And I would just listen to the same CD over and over and over again. And then I would pop in the second one and I would do that way. So that's my share for today.
I love it. Something I shared with a friend just 2-3 days ago, that he doesn't have the command of the English language. He does, but not to where you'd like to be. And I tell him, and this is something that I do whenever I have the opportunity, is I'm reading a book and I'll going to have the physical copy, I'll get the audible copy as well. And as you're reading it physically and listening to it, you're engaging more than two senses, so you actually capture the information. You can read it a lot faster as well by doing that. So that's just a little tip on reading the books. And to your point, being in the personal development space, especially with Tony Robbins, people would ask, even before I became a trainer, before I was getting involved, and I would just go to the programs, the same program multiple times. People would ask, well, why would you do that? I said, well, because every time I go there, yeah, I'm listening to the same information, but I'm getting something different out of it. Because just like when every time you read a Millionaire Real Estate book or whatever book you're reading, Atomic Habits or the E-Myth, whatever it is, you're a different person every time you read it if you've applied what you've read already, right? So you're getting different distinctions. You're just in a different place in your business, in your life, emotionally, whatever it is. So yeah, don't frown upon reading a great book or participating in a great event more than once, because you are a different person every time you read it. Because Brad, I know you're a different man today than when you read A Millionaire Real Estate Agent, or when you read the E-Myth the first time, or the second, or the third. You're just a different person every time. So love that tip, love that strategy, and thanks for sharing, brother. Always great to have you in here.